I was trying to get 20 plus when you include our design and production team, who were amazing, and then obviously the company of 20 actors, all into the task of bringing a book to life. Something that isn't a play, something that is entrenched in our Western civilization, and especially in the contrast of the current technological and global expansions of media and communication, a really vital story to re-examine and understand how we at our most basic nature interact as human beings.
Perhaps we ought to go too, to make sure nothing happens.
True success of the production came in which 20 equaled 1, and that's at least how I approach that dynamic, is trying to build it into a sense of teamwork and camaraderie, and knowing that individual success is not what's at stake here, it's the success of the collective, and how we all are how to achieve the same thing, and we can only do that by working together. And that definitely takes some working to get everyone to buy into that.
The first time we ran the show, it ran about 3 hours, and that was something none of us were expecting. We were hoping for 90 minutes to 2 hours, but the biggest thing is, together as a group, we just sat down and we made cuts and we made things that, as a group, we thought weren't essential to the story we wanted to tell, and it was really. Everyone got an opinion, even the ones who are like the little ins or who weren't necessarily named. They had as much of a say as Jack, Ralph, Piggy, any of the others.
Not a lot, but there are definitely a couple people in our group that are sort of more leader-based, who don't necessarily see themselves as just actors in a scenario. And I definitely used to be one of those people, and so the navigation as an ensemble, and especially when we were making decisions as an ensemble, of sort of knowing when to really take on to a leadership position or when to hold back.
The biggest challenges in any sort of tech phase is now when the various artistic elements kind of all come crashing into place and have to somehow work in sync. This is what I want you to understand. When you pull away, it is that moment where your instinctive childhood fear is raging in. It is then, because of the adrenaline level, overwhelmingly replaced with an empowered idea that you can kill the beast.
And is there sound? Because my first impulse is to scream, but
I think what it should come from is, don't think of it as a scream, it should just be that release of energy.
The lightning will cue us to go up, correct? The second lightning flash. Because we have no cue to go up on there.
Then, show me the flash again?
Yeah. Alright, so we've just had 2 flashes, lightning, so he's in there, flash, flash. So maybe you stab when you stab on when the lightning goes out,
flash, yeah.
and then what's going to happen is we go to this.
Stop it!
Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat! Spill his blood! Kill the beast! Cut his throat!
Well then, we are on an island. We've been on the mountaintop and seen water all around. But the point is back to me. Same up here as down there. I agree with...
Fire. You said you'd keep the smoke going.
you would.
rest was just watching the actors and knowing that they know what they're supposed to be doing and when and how it helps the story helped me get where I needed to be in order to get through tech and the performances successfully.
Everyone has the responsibility of telling this story and telling it to the best of their ability. And I think Paolo was really great at sort of bringing that out in everyone, making sure that everyone really did feel like they had part of this process sort of on their shoulders as part of, not their burden, but their responsibility to, you know, let this happen. And it was really great. And it was different. The level of, I guess, freedom. It was cool, but it was a little scary sometimes too.
It very quickly turned into, we are all part of this process, and if one person was missing, we couldn't do the job.
And people get elected on the premise of, like, it's them, they're after us, we need to unify.
There's the democratic ability for us all to have our input, which built a trust, because we knew that if something wasn't working, we'd be able to speak about it.
To then have come in a relatively short time, in only a couple months, to a point where the project is really no longer just an intonation of my idea with this particular book, but has become the collective breath of every single artist who's involved, both those who the audience will clearly see in the playing space and those who are working behind the scenes and those whose work is just hanging up. And that's really when it just feels great. And this has very much been a prime example of how amazing the collaborative spirit and artistic energy of our students are, because this show is theirs now, and they've done an amazing job in bringing it where it's at.